Hi, and thank you for watching Missouri Viewpoints, the program dedicated to the civil and informed discussion of the political, social, and economic issues that affect us all. I'm Mike Ferguson, and as always, we're coming to you from the Hard Bean Cafe in downtown Grandview. Well, my guest this week is the leader of Missouri's other established political party. Glenn Nielsen is the chairman of the Missouri Libertarian Party. Glenn, thank you for coming to Grandview and for being on the program.
Thank you for having me on, Mike.
Okay, now as a matter of disclosure, I do want to tell everybody that I am a member of the Libertarian Party. Now, Glenn, for those who think politics is just limited to Republicans and to Democrats, what does the Libertarian Party stand for?
Well, the Libertarian Party is known as the party of principle. That's because we take principled stands on issues such as individual liberties, economic freedoms, and peace, and we don't compromise on those issues. If you consider yourself a Republican and you're for small, fiscally conservative government, look at what the Republicans do. Are you actually getting what you want? If you're a Democrat and you're for protecting people's civil liberties, look at what the Democrats do. Are they actually protecting your civil liberties when they vote in Congress or in the state legislature?
Okay, now we're headed into the next legislative session, also into the campaign season. So let's go ahead and get to some of the current issues in the news today. Now, arguably, the most intense debate in the media and in Jefferson City is that over health care. What role should the state government have in health care?
Well, the problems we're seeing right now in health care is because over the last 30 or 40 years, government has become too involved in health care. About 60% of our health care dollars now are spent by government, and they squeeze out the private sector. Also, government has encouraged the formation of HMOs, and where HMOs get a cut of every health care dollar spent, adding a lot of overhead and increasing the cost. What we need to do is reduce the government regulation, get back to the type of health insurance we had that my parents had, which was major medical or hospitalization insurance, which paid for catastrophic care or hospitalization, but where the individual took care of their own health care needs, paid in a cash transaction with their doctor, with no one in between. That way you can negotiate prices. No one makes decisions except you and your doctor on your health care.
Okay. Now, another health-related issue is smoking and the controversies over the regulation of it. Several Missouri cities have banned smoking in public places and even in restaurants and places like that. Now, the Missouri Libertarian Party has been very vocal in opposition to these kind of regulations. Why?
Well, this isn't an issue about rights. It's not, smokers don't have a right to smoke on someone's private property unless they have the permission of the property owner. Contrary-wise, non-smokers, or those who advocate for these smoking bans, don't have the right to go on somebody else's private property and tell them what legal activities can occur there. This all boils down to an issue of private property rights for the business owners.
Now, just to kind of follow up on that, as you know, I don't smoke. Why should I even care about this issue if it doesn't affect what I want to do?
Well, this comes down to the general case of overregulation by government, because it's going to impact local businesses in your community. We have seen economic studies that show that some businesses which cater to the smokers, such as bars, can be adversely impacted by these smoking bans and ultimately end up going out of business. In Columbia, where I live, we've had a smoking ban now for almost a year. And we've already had at least 8 to 10 businesses that have closed their doors and have blamed the smoking ban. Now, in that case, those businesses no longer have those employees. They have to look for new jobs. They may have lost their health care. So it has an immediate impact on these businesses.
Okay, now the Missouri legislative session is convened for 2008. Now, which issues or which topics are you keeping a close eye on from your role as Missouri Libertarian Party chairman?
Well, as and what might be considered an opposition party to the two major parties, we're concerned about issues that will impact our ability to affect issues in Missouri and continue in our role as the third largest political party in Missouri. One of the bills we saw filed is House Bill 1407. This bill adds additional requirements for petition gathering, requiring that the petitioners be registered voters in Missouri, a Missouri resident, a U.S. resident, also that they cannot be paid by the signature. And this can have a stifling effect on the ability of third parties to be able to gather the signatures they need to get on ballots or for initiatives to amend the Missouri Constitution.
So what I'm hearing you say is that this would affect the individual right to be involved in the political process.
Right, right. In our Constitution gives us the right to petition our government for redress of grievances. And this strictly limits the ability to collect those signatures on petitions.
Okay, now as we head into an election year, there are always Libertarian candidates on all the ballots for statewide office, for congressional office, for many local offices, from the state legislature on down. Why should voters consider a Libertarian candidate when they go to the ballot booth?
Well, I think that what we've seen over the years is that the differences between the Republicans and the Democrats have become less and less, especially at the federal level. We continue to see an increase in government, an increase in infringements on our personal liberties, regardless of whether Democrats or Republicans are in control of Congress or the State House. And that one thing you can do is that if you are concerned about the scope and size and intrusion in your life of government, that the only way that you really can express your displeasure with that anymore is to vote for a third party.
Okay, now one of the arguments that that you, I'm sure, hear all the time, that I heard back in 2004, is that voting for a Libertarian candidate is wasting your vote because the odds are stacked so steeply against Libertarian candidates or any third-party candidate. What's your answer to that objection?
Well, that is an argument made by those who want to support the status quo of the monopoly of the special interest, big government, major parties, the Democrats and Republicans. And regardless of how you vote, even if you choose not to vote, that vote is yours. It doesn't belong to anybody else. And so I would hope that voters in Missouri would take the time to research the candidates, their position on issues, and if they've served in office, how they have actually voted and what issues they have proposed. And then look at how they stand and vote for who you think best represents your views of government.
Okay, we've got about a minute left in the program. One of the more interesting trends recently in Libertarian and third-party circles is a groundswell of support amongst Libertarians for Texas Congressman Ron Paul, who's running for president. Now, he's running as a Republican. What do you make of this entire situation?
Well, Congressman Paul has deep roots in the Libertarian movement. And surveys have shown that he is receiving support from 75% of Libertarians. I am excited by his campaign. Although the party cannot endorse a candidate outside of our party, he has done more this year, in the last year, to bring people the message of freedom and liberty than all of the efforts of Libertarians in the recent decades. So we're enthused by it. We're seeing more interest in our party because of it. And I think overall it's a great thing for the Libertarian movement.
All right, Glenn, thank you for being on the program and coming to Grandview. I hope that you'll come back on the program. Thank you for watching Missouri Viewpoints. When you come to Grandview, come down to the Hard Bean Cafe. Be sure to try the white chocolate caramel upside down latte. We'll see you next week.